We'll resume at item 7 on the agenda, Town Centre Vision and the St Stephen's Road site development plan. The paper, I think, sets out the intention of the Bournemouth Development Company. What I would like to do is to ask Bill Cotton perhaps to introduce this paper, unusually, but because Bill Cotton is one of the 3 members on the Bournemouth Development Company board, representing our 50% interest in the company with Morgan Stanley International. So, Mr. Cotton, perhaps you could introduce the paper.
Will do. Thank you very much, Leader. Before I introduce the paper, I'd just like to just correct 1 or 2 errors that have appeared in the paperwork to make sure we're all very clear about what we're looking at here. So, in the recommendation, it refers to land identified at page X. That X should actually be page 4 of the attached site development plan. And equally, in paragraph 5 of the main report, again it refers to land on page X, and again that should be page 4 of the site development plan. It refers to a map there which shows a small part of land to be added to the site. Equally, the gremlins have got into the site development plan, and the contents page is not accurate, but the report's changed over time and the contents page hasn't caught up. So please bear with us on that one. But apart from that, all the everything is presently correct. We've just introduced the item then. This is one of the latest in the pipeline of developments coming forward from the Bournemouth Development Company. It essentially is for a development of 56 new dwellings at St Stephen's Road car park, including a number of townhouses, larger 3- and 4-bed townhouses to attract a different perhaps demographic into the town centre families for a change. This is the first stage in the development process. If you approve it today, the BDC will then go away, do much further technical work and produce a planning application and work with the local planning authority to secure that development there. We have, as BDC, we have confidence that this is a good scheme. The market is picking up in terms of demand for housing, and in fact, at the Citrus building, which is our latest, the first development we've just in the process of completing, we have 64 units there, of which we have exchanged and sold 32. And we have another 22 deposits and reservations taken. So we're well on our way there to completing that development, and as I say, that gives us confidence that the market's right for this. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Mr. Cotton. I think without any further ado, I will move the recommendation and look for a seconder. Thank you. So we'll go to any questions from members who are not on Cabinet. I have one question that has been submitted by a member who is not present this morning. It's a question from Councillor Roger West, and the question reads as follows. This item refers to the success of marketing the properties of Leighton Mount, where it states that at the time of writing the report, 50 out of the 64 have been sold or reserved. I have been reliably informed that only 1 has been sold subject to contract. Councillor West's words, obviously not mine. Have I been misinformed? I cannot attend your meeting as I have an appointment at the hospital. I should be grateful if my question could be read out in public and answered. Mr. Cotton, perhaps it would be better if you were to answer it as a member of the BDC.
To answer that question directly, yes, he has been misinformed, and as I mentioned earlier, we have exchanged actually not 1 but 32 properties with a further 22 deposits taken.
Well, thank you very much. That confirms an improved position over that stated in the report, and it goes to identify that so often there is misinformation out in the public domain that bears virtually no resemblance to the truth whatsoever, and it's useful to have this opportunity to put this one right. And we will record the question and the response in the minutes of the meeting and on the council's website. There being no questions from members not on the topic, Councillor Chapman.
Chairman, could I ask Mr. Collins on
Sorry,
the...
Councillor Chapman, could I ask you to use the microphone?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
The lights come off on that one.
Chairman, could I ask Mr. Cotton, on the drawing, I don't know what the number is, page 20, shows a plan of the entire development. Could you just confirm the access to Block 2, which is up against Wessex Road, is that access from sort of Stevens Road along the front of the other properties, or is it access from the slip road that runs alongside Wessex away from Richmond Hill?
Thanks, Councillor Chapman. It comes in, I think at the moment, the plan is that it comes in from St Stephen's Road, but again, that will be subject to detailed negotiations with the planning authority about the best way of accessing. So that's still very much a draft proposal.
Thank you.
Are there any questions or comments from members of the Cabinet? Councillor Green.
Thank you, Leader. Can I just confirm, on the reasons for recommendations on the second page of this report, 3, 4 and 5 talk about certain sums that will be spent in taking this to further stages. I presume that these are costs to BBC rather than the share of the cost of the council, but could you just confirm that, please?
Thank you, Councillor Green. Yes, they are costs taken on by the Bournemouth Development Company as part of its pre-planning work.
Councillor Filer.
Thank you, Leader. I'd just like to point out that this appears to be a win-win situation, because not only is the council making access to additional housing possible, but also at the same time retaining the policy of keeping a capacity of around 6,400 spaces in the town centre. I think this is good. I think this is excellent. And earlier, it was just mentioned that there had been some misinformation. I think it's not just misinformation, it's horribly and wildly misinformed. I mean, the mind just boggles where this sort of information can come from and how responsible it is to repeat it without checking.
Well, we have a move to the recommendations. Properly seconded. Can we now go to the vote? All those in favour, please indicate. Thank you very much. We'll now move on to